Philip Treacy, you are a mad hatter with an international reputation. You've just done the extraordinary hats for Ralph Lauren in New York. Now you're in London and you're showing things to the buyers. Tell us what your hat mood is right now.
I don't really sort of work in terms of, the theme of the collection this season. I think in terms of the consumer that ends up buying it, and the hat buyer, whether it's the buyer in the store or the customer, they want something different and they want something new.
Philip, tell me, list some of the designers that you've worked for.
I've had a fantastic time working for the greatest designers of our age, from Karl Lagerfeld to Valentino to Versace, Alexander McQueen, Rifat Ozbek, Dolce & Gabbana. I like to work with designers. Sometimes when I go and produce the actual goods, it's a little bit like being on American Idol, where I'm being judged by 20 people and I hope that this is what they want. My customer base ranges from Marilyn Manson to Prince Charles' wife, and they're all legitimate customers, and that's a very big gap. And so I make hats for the most interesting, fascinating, unusual people in the world.
Looking around this room, there are these amazing, shocking pink colours, there's stripes, there's spots, so many things. Are some of them, in your head, destined for particular clients?
I really never think in terms of one person. It only ever happened with one person before who's no longer around. But I have to think in terms of everybody, really. And I like to design hats with the idea of seducing the customer that would never dream of wearing a hat, and showing them how it's fun. You don't need a hat, but some things are good for the soul. And especially in times of recession, one of the biggest hat-wearing eras was during the war, when people needed something to take their minds off how gloomy everything was. And in the past year, with everybody talking about recession, business has been extremely good. So in bad times, hats sometimes are to the fore.
Now, Philip, you once told me that your first visions of hats were in Ireland, in your country home when you were a child, seeing your sisters and your mother.
Yes.
Tell us about your hat experience.
My mother was not Mrs. Schilling at all. She didn't have very many hats, but I remember she wore, berets or things like that. And I always remember as a child wondering why the angle of the beret mattered, and why she would spend a couple of minutes putting it on at the correct angle. So as a result, it really is the essence of what a hat is, how it's worn and how the angle you wear it at, because the point of wearing a hat is to make you look better.
Philip Treacy, a wonderful tale of a hatter. Thank you so much for talking to the International Herald Tribune.
Thank you very much.